Guys, ini betul-betul bikin saya terkejut guys. Baru saya tahu kalau di Indonesia ada paket-paket kecil guys, macam saus, shampoo dan juga macam benda deterjen tadi, benda-benda macam itu kan dia ada di dalam paket dijual dalam paket-paket kecil. Kenapa dijual dalam bentuk paket-paket kecil guys? Kenapa tidak ada? Saya bingung guys. Sebab biasanya kalau kita membeli terus beli yang besar kan, kenapa ada jual dalam paket-paket begitu, macam travel packet pula yang supaya kita mudah kalau kita travel kita bisa pakai gitu. Guys, ada yang bisa jawab kah pertanyaan saya? Kenapa ada paket-paket kecil yang dijual macam shampoo, deterjen, sabun dan macam-macam lagi lah di dalam paket kecil, termasuk saus.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. You talk high demand, but reality's low grade. Asking for provider, but your skills overpaid. Provide a mindset, but skills outdated.
Assalamualaikum kumaha damang guys, sampurasun sarung gede jeung sumping di channel abdi. Saya Diditi dari Borneo. Sabah akan menemani kawan-kawan semua dalam episode reaction sekali ini, dan hari ini kita akan nonton culture shock bule di Indonesia. Indonesia jauh lebih baik daripada USA, itu pendapat bule ini guys. Jadi kita akan nonton video ini. Semoga semua kawan-kawan berada dalam keadaan sehat, selalu dimurahkan rezeki, dipermudahkan segala urusan dunia dan akhirat. Jangan lupa guys di subscribe channel Sugan Public, like, comment, dan share. Tanpa buang-buang waktu, mari kita nonton video ini seperti apa. Let's go.
Solution. I don't need validations, don't judge me. It's not your place to determine.
I thought this question was so fascinating. Since moving to Indonesia about 8 years ago, I've encountered so many interesting stories about kind of folklore and myths and cultural tales that I never really encountered in the US. At least for me growing up as a white Caucasian in the US, could be different for other Americans with like African heritage or Latin American heritage or even Native American heritage. I can imagine that their experience is very different. But for me, no, I feel like the local folklore, they're just seen as stories and myths, whereas I feel like here in Indonesia a lot of that is still very much part of the culture and seen as like cultural history, and so I don't really feel like for white Caucasian Americans that is the case, but that could just be my experience. Maybe other people have other experiences.
Jadi guys, bule ini sudah 8 tahun tinggal di Indonesia, dan dia ditanyalah sama ada macam mana dia punya pengalaman di Indonesia. Adakah pernah ketemu sama macam mitos-mitos begitu yang ada di Indonesia lah, ataupun pantang larang yang ada di Indonesia. Dan dia secara jujur menjawab, bilang dia belum pernah ketemu lah sama benda-benda yang begitu, yang mitos-mitos kayak gitu. Jadi sebab dia membesar di USA dan tinggal di Indonesia kan, jadi ini sesuatu yang baru bagi bule ini juga.
I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite things about living in a small town in Indonesia as an American mom. It's the fact that in less than a 5-minute walk from my front door of my house, I can be at a little corner store where I can pick up all my basic necessities, from milk to eggs, flour and sugar, to dish soap or laundry soap. Anything, drinks, snacks for the kids are right there within less than 5 minutes. Sometimes my girls just need to get out of the house and we'll walk down to the shop and they'll get just a little box of chocolate milk or something, or a juice box, and it just brings a little adventure to our day. And the reason that this is so exciting to me as an American living in Indonesia is that this is not the case where I grew up in the US. And I would say probably for most Americans that didn't grow up in a big city like New York or Los Angeles with like a really vibrant downtown, suburban, regular, everyday America is really, really spread out. It easily can take a 10 to 15 minute drive in your car to get to any type of store that would sell like milk or eggs or some of those basic necessities. And it's always a culture shock when I go back to the US and I visit family and I think, oh, I just want, to make this recipe and I'm out of like flour. And it's like a whole production to get all the kids into the car and their car seats and seatbelts, and then drive, 10, 15, 20 minutes maybe to the store that I want to go to. And it's a much bigger deal.
Jadi guys, kalau di Indonesia, dia rasa ada kelebihan lah kalau tinggal di tempat yang dia tinggal nih sekarang. Sebab dia cuma perlu jalan 5 menit sejak jalan kaki untuk membeli keperluan sehari-harian dia. Beza sama kalau yang di US dia tinggal sekurang-kurangnya 10 menit atau 15 menit baru bisa jumpa kedai yang menjual peralatan yang diperlukan seharian-harian. Jadi ini cukup, kalau bagi bule kan, bule suka berjalan, jadi ini sangat, dia rasa sangat senang begini. Senang sebab dekat. Lagipun kalau di Indonesia mana-mana kan bisa ada Indomaret dan ada lagi toko-toko, pasti akan adalah kedai-kedai yang menjual. Jadi dia rasa sangat convenient, sangat selesa, sangat mudah di Indonesia berbanding di US. Sebab kalau di USA kena naik kereta, lepas tu bawa anak-anak, pasang seat belt, jalan perjalanan yang mengambil masa 10 hingga 15 menit, memakan waktu lah gitu. Tapi kalau di Indonesia cuma keluar dari rumah jalan kaki sampai. Itu kelebihan kalau di Indonesia. Dan dia selalu rasa kejutan budaya ataupun culture shock bila balik ke US. Sebab beda sama di Indonesia. Ternyata bule ini suka betul nih di Indonesia.
But in Indonesia, it's so much simpler. I've lived in 3 different houses in Indonesia and stayed in a bunch of like Airbnbs and hotels while traveling. And almost always, no matter what town or what island we're in, there is these little tiny tokos, warangs you can just walk to and pick up the basic things that you need. And it's amazing. And of course, there's the added convenience of Grab and Gojek, which can deliver you these things right to your front door when you order them on your app.
Siapa
I
ada
think one
Gojek?
reason for this big difference is how cities or towns are zoned in the US versus Indonesia. In the US, we have very specific like residential zones where you can like have houses and places where people live, and separate from that would be like commercial zones where you can have businesses and where people can sell things. And so that would be where like your stores are, and they're in specific areas. Now, I do think this is different in areas like New York City, like I said, which is a really big city, and they have tons of places that you can just walk to, shops right down the street from your apartment. But again, for I think average small town everyday America, it's quite different. I love these walks to the corner stores with my girls. It's one of our favorite family routines and rhythms, and I'm super thankful that it is so easy and convenient here in our life in Indonesia.
Nah, sangat mudah lah.
You guys had so many amazing questions on my last video. I'm just gonna start trying answering as many as I can. I love this one about culture shocks because I've had so many since moving from the US to Indonesia over the past 8 years. Some huge, some small, but some of the ones I think of right away are just how Indonesians and Americans view time. In the US, things start right on time. If you show up late to something, it's considered rude. My mom taught me if you show up early, then you're on time. But here in Indonesia, that is not the case. I've encountered a lot of Indonesians that regularly show up 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes late. It's not uncommon for events to start quite late, and that's seen as normal. And so that took some adjustment and getting used to and just resetting my expectations. Another big difference is shopping. Where I grew up in the US, it was really common to have big stores like Walmart or Target where I can go and get clothes and groceries and like office supplies and shoes and things like that all in one store. But where I live in Indonesia right now, we don't have shops like that. So I have to go to like one store for like if I need stuff for the house. I have to go to another store if I need groceries. I have to go to another store if I want to get meat. I have to go to the market if I want to get vegetables. And so I don't live in a town that has even like stores that bigger cities in Indonesia have, like Hypermart or Grand Lucky or Carrefour, things like that. So that took some adjustment getting used to as well when we moved up here to this small town in North Bali 5 years ago. So that's another
North
adjustment
Bali.
as well. And then this person also asked about the cost of living comparing Bali to the US, and I feel like that's really hard to compare. The countries and the economies are so different that I kind of try not to compare what it's like and to live in one place versus the other, and I try not to make a big deal over the cost of stuff, because just if something feels affordable to me, it may not be affordable to other people, and so I try and be thoughtful and respectful of how I talk about the prices of things. And so yeah, some things are cheaper here, but some things are also more expensive here.
Oke guys, jadi ini bule selama dia di Indonesia, dia sudah jumpa budaya yang dia tidak pernah jumpa, yaitu masa guys. Kalau di Indonesia telat 5, 10, 15, 30 menit itu perkara normal. Tapi kalau di US dia terbiasa untuk punctual on time gitu. Dan juga dia rasa macam kaget lah sama budaya yang ada di Indonesia. Harga barang di Indonesia pun dia tidak juga rasa begitu terlalu murah, tidak terlalu mahal. Jadi kalau dia mampu beli, dia belilah. Kalau tidak, tidaklah begitu. Dan dia tidak mau membandingkan lah harga di US dan di Indonesia. Dan bule ini nampaknya betul-betul banyak culture shock yang dia sudah rasa guys selama tinggal di Indonesia 8 tahun.
So it kind of just depends on what I'm looking for. But anyway, great question about culture shocks. I'll probably have many more stories about those. In the US, when it comes to shopping, it always seems like bigger is better.
Iyalah.
If it's something we use often and we can get a bigger bottle of it, it's usually cheaper. And because of this cultural difference, in Indonesia, I find myself asking why when I go into these little small tokos. Why do they sell soaps and shampoos and dishwashing detergent and laundry soap and sauces for cooking? Why are they on these small packets that you only use once?
Guys, ini betul-betul bikin saya terkejut guys. Baru saya tahu kalau di Indonesia ada paket-paket kecil guys, macam saus, shampoo dan juga macam benda deterjen tadi, benda-benda macam itu kan dia ada di dalam paket, dijual dalam paket-paket kecil. Kenapa dijual dalam bentuk paket-paket kecil guys? Kenapa tidak ada? Saya bingung guys. Sebab biasanya kalau kita membeli terus beli yang besar kan, kenapa ada jual dalam paket-paket begitu? Macam travel packet pula yang supaya kita mudah kalau kita travel kita bisa pakai gitu. Guys, ada yang bisa jawab kah pertanyaan saya? Kenapa ada paket-paket kecil yang dijual macam shampoo, deterjen, sabun, dan macam-macam lagi lah di dalam paket kecil. Termasuk saus pun ada.
For drinks, it makes sense because you just want to make 1 cup of that drink. So I get that. And even snacks too. But soaps? Don't you use those like every day? And diapers? 1 diaper? Why? Help me understand. As an American living in Indonesia, I always take my shoes off before going into someone's house, no matter which country I'm in. But is that true for all Americans? Many people asked about this, so I'm going to help try and answer it. I think many TV shows and movies from America often show characters with their shoes on even if they're inside. This could be for a lot of reasons, like safety on set, not wanting to pause and show characters taking on and off their shoes during the scene, and it's not something all Americans do all the time. So I decided to ask my friends in America what they do about shoes in their house. And honestly, the majority of my friends said they do take their shoes off. The people that leave their shoes on say it just was never a habit growing up. Or some people have specific inside shoes they only wear inside. Some people said if they're coming inside real quick and then going back out again, they don't bother taking them off. Some people said their floors are already dirty, so why not? But I think all Americans would take off their shoes if they stepped in something dirty. Hope that helps.
Oke guys, jadi demikian video culture shock bule guys. Cukup menarik topik kita kali ini. Banyak benda baru yang saya belajar. Jadi guys, inilah video pada kali ini. Kalau kalian bisa bantu jawab, silakan jawab. Dan moga kawan-kawan suka dan terhibur dengan video yang saya react. Moga video yang saya react ini bisa mengisi masa lapang kawan-kawan semua. Dan saya rasa sampai di sini video dulu. Kita akan jumpa lagi di video yang akan datang di people. Terima kasih karena nonton. Komen di ruang komentar di bawah pendapat kalian. Dan sampai kita ketemu di episode akan datang. Salam santun, damai, dan salam silaturahmi. Assalamualaikum. Salam saudara dunia.
Yo teman-teman, ojo lali di subscribe yo channelku.